So today we're on the floor because it's just that kind of a day. And I didn't want to miss the week, but wanted to also be, I suppose, quite honest in the sense that sometimes one just ends up on the floor, and that's okay. In my case, I have some lore about my spine, I guess, that um, I didn't really have a particular topic in mind specifically for today. I've had a lot on my mind in general and just like a lot of life stuff um, and logistics and things going on. So I've found it a little bit hard to find sort of a creative thread of thought that I might have in mind. And I thought maybe today would be a good day to just talk about how that happens sometimes, and that's okay. And in my case, it happens a lot because of a chronic condition, um, which, I think a lot of people have different relationships to and different situations that they deal with. Um, and I thought I might talk about mine today. At this point in my life, I think it's something that not too many people that I meet nowadays will know about me, because thankfully it doesn't really come up as much in kind of like my day to day with other people. Like it's definitely a part of my day to day in my own life. But yeah, so what I'm talking about specifically is when I was younger, I had scoliosis. It was idiopathic, which means they have no damn clue why it was there, where it came from, what caused it, which is, I don't know, there's got to be some irony there. But in my case, it's actually chrome because I got metal in my spine. So, um, welcome to the dad joke segment of the video. But in any case, yes, when I was younger, I had scoliosis. The curves were pretty bad and continued to get bad as I got older. And so at a certain point, all paths pointed to surgery. So I had two surgeries actually, my senior year of high school, which I think is like a whole other rabbit hole we could go down, sort of like the emotional and feelings aspect of that and sort of what that whole experience was like. And I think it's important to talk about because it was a really difficult time and life went on and here we are. So, that's, I think, lovely to see. Definitely didn't always feel like that would be possible, but in any case, one of those surgeries was to get what's called a spinal fusion. So mine included rods and screws made of, I think it was titanium and chrome, which was funny because all of that happened right around the time that Titanium song was really popular. So that was, I guess, a little fun, nugget from the universe. But yeah, anyway, with all of that, I explain all of this to say that apparently having metal in your spine, it's not comfortable. Your body kind of never gets used to it because it wasn't expecting to have that around or, grow in that way. So um, I think that while it is like the particular thing that I went through, I think, everyone has, like I mentioned, like any number of things that they deal with on the day to day. And so I want to talk about it today as it relates to, I feel like, a general theme of having trouble with achieving things, which is a general theme. I mean, like on this channel so far, I feel like, which was not totally intentional, but it's definitely something I think about so much, and I'm probably way too hard on myself over. I know I'm way too hard on myself over it. And one of the things that really rubs up against this theme is the way chronic conditions, have a mind of their own, and get in the way, and in a way that you can't predict, in a way that is incredibly frustrating, in a way that is, on a bad day, really hopeless, and on an okay day, kind of annoying, but you push through. And I think the main thing that I think a lot about is like, how do you have grace for yourself while still pushing forward? And it's such a difficult question that I think my answer changes all the time, at the level, like with each improvement on my compassion for myself, or I guess maybe like amplification of my compassion for myself, I think the answer changes, because sometimes I'm just like, well, I have to push through. I just have to get the thing done. If I want to get something done, you have to get it done. There's no way around it, right? Like, if your goal is to do a thing, the thing has to get done one way or another. And, when your back is making it such that you are on the floor, sometimes doing the thing is impossible. Like today, making a video, thankfully, isn't impossible, but I do feel highly uncomfortable. Like, this isn't quite the video I had hoped to make, and like being on the floor of my living room is uncomfortable, talking to a camera and like, whoever might watch. But I think like I am certainly far, far, far from the first person that feels that way or has had to do stuff even when they're uncomfortable. So I just want to say that like whatever way you can do it is still valid and still important. It just matters that you do it. And I think that's like my current answer to that question, that like within certain bounds, which of course is like part of the gray area of this question, like what are the bounds? But within certain bounds, like doing it anyway, whatever it is, I think is still valuable. So for me, for example, if the it is I want to make sure that I'm still active or outside, maybe it means laying on the ground outside. And that just has to be okay. Maybe it's not the run that I wanted. Maybe it's not, the outing with friends that I had planned or whatever, but like just the small win, the small iteration still matters. And it keeps you going, I think, over time, or at least like it doesn't deplete you over time the way that like not doing anything at all would, So I think it's tough to be someone that wants to accomplish a lot of things and has like a body that is, very often and unpredictably not on board with that. It's something that I have grown up with in some way all my life. Like since I was a kid, there's always something. My body has always had a weird relationship with like existing. So, those are lines that I've needed to negotiate forever. And I think that it's been a long road, and I could talk about this for hours and hours and all sorts of different specific moments and lessons and perceptions and perspectives that I have on this, and maybe like other people's perspectives about this experience that I've had, like family members' perspectives and things like that. But I think like ultimately what I want to say to anyone that wants to listen, and to myself just as much, is like, it's okay to grieve the life that you planned, that you wanted, that you thought you would have, and maybe don't feel like you're having. I think sometimes a lot of folks want to skip straight to the gratitude part of it, and I think that that is obviously super important and really, really, really like pivotal, I think, to really changing your perception on something. But I would say I'm a big proponent of crashing the fuck out about something, because I really do think there's no other way to honestly get to the other side. And I mean that like literally, like I don't think there's an honest outcome unless you are being honest in the process. And part of being honest in the process is being fucking pissed. And that's okay. So I wouldn't say today I'm feeling necessarily quite at that level of, mentally agitated about it. I'm pretty okay. I'm just resting. It's all good. But I know that that is not always the case. There are tears, there are frustrated, moments and smacks of a pillow or whatever you want. But I think if you are someone that is dealing with stuff like that, if you know someone that is dealing with stuff like that, it's just, I think, another one of those things that comes with being human. Because if it's not a spinal condition, it's a, mental thing, it's a circumstantial thing. There's all sorts of things that I think fit this category. The one I'm talking about today just happens to be like one body related thing. But I just think that over time, I've come to see that the thing isn't going to go away. And therefore, neither should you, like whatever you means to you, like the things you like to do, um, who you are. I think that you just got to find a way to kind of dance with it instead of against it if you can. And I think also, like, just having grace for when there are days that you don't want to hear any of that hippie bullshit and just like want to be mad. That's okay too, because it's exhausting. But all I want to end with, I guess, is just like my heart goes out to you, and I think if anything, it's just about finding a little bit of softness wherever you can for yourself. And, um, even when it feels like you don't have any, just like a little patience and lean into the things that do feel good and do at least just make the time pass faster. If that's all you can do, that's okay too. So, hopefully you pass some time with me. And hopefully you pass some time with friends, and I don't know, at the very least, a nice show that makes you feel better. But I would say, like, it's okay to give up today, but, don't give up every day. I don't think you have to, and I don't think it helps, and I honestly don't believe that any of you would. I don't think anyone does. So it's okay to give yourself a good bit of rest. I think you'll find your way out of it. And on to the next thing. So make your video, sing your song, paint your picture, call your friend, do the thing, and do it if you need to be on the floor. Here we are, it's fine. But yeah, thanks for spending some time with me, and I will see you next week.